de su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM. Les habla Lilia Galindo y me acompaña Michael Dutton. Michael, why is so important that people get ready to vote in this election of 2024? You know, there are so many young people like from 34 and below that they don't care, that they say that they don't care, even though there are so many things that are happening that
Well,
can affect them. They don't care, they don't know, they don't have
they're
information.
impacted and influenced by their devices.
¿Qué es eso?
And that is the center of their universe. TikTok and Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and all of those things are more important than other people. I was sitting in a restaurant with my granddaughter, noticing that she didn't look up to even have a conversation with anybody. She was at her device. It's like, put that thing down. Don't you talk to people? Well, I don't have anything to say right now. Oh, okay, fine. Put it down. You'll think of something. You're far more intelligent than sitting like a bump on a log in a restaurant. Come on. I want to know what you're thinking, how you feel, and where you're headed, and where's your mind going. And she said, Grandpa, people don't care. My generation doesn't care about that. I said, well, you should. I said, now let me tell you something. Your grandmother, your great grandmother, because I'm your grandfather, so I got to go one more. Your great grandmother used to say, you know, Michael, people are kind of like pigs eating acorns. So what? Yeah, she says they never look up to see where they're coming from until they stop. And I think this younger generation epitomizes that phrase. They get so much, they have so much, they feel entitled, and they expect everything that they have will always be there. And they're like those pigs eating acorns. And they're going to have a rude awakening one day when the liberties and the freedoms and the quote unquote responsibilities of citizenship fall upon them. They may have a different notion about things, but right now they're preoccupied with their devices.
It's going to be too late.
Unfortunately, I have to agree.
Bueno, le estoy preguntando, platicando por qué la generación joven, o sea, de 34 para abajo más o menos, no se preocupa por lo que está pasando en el país y no les interesa el voto, por eso no salen a votar. Y dice que desafortunadamente ellos, esa generación de esos grupos, esas generaciones de las que hablamos, están totalmente inmersas en sus teléfonos celulares o sus tabletas o computadoras viendo media social, ¿no? Dijo TikTok, Instagram y todo eso es su centro de vida, nada les importa más. Y Michael se sentó con su nieta para platicar cuando fueron a un restaurante, dice, y la nieta metida totalmente en su teléfono celular, y que él le dijo, no, deja ese teléfono celular, déjalo ahí, vamos a platicar qué es lo que les importa, que no nos importa absolutamente nada, o sea, y él dice que lo que pasa es que hasta que te das cuenta, hasta que te afecta personalmente, que su mamá así le decía, y él le dijo, tu bisabuela decía esto, y que hasta que no te afecta, hasta que no te confrontas con la realidad, es cuando empiezas a preocuparte, pero va a ser demasiado tarde. Entonces tenemos los padres que asegurarnos de platicarles lo que está pasando. Do you know, for example, the abortion case?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's important for the youngest generation to know about what kind of right they have lost? Or
I think it's important for them. I don't think that they are mindful of how important it is, because the attack on abortion will also be an attack on birth control, will also be an attack on controlling of individuals' rights and freedoms. It's just of it's just one step, but it's in that direction, and they need to be mindful of the impact. You know, it's it's kind of, to me, it's ironic because in the 50s, they were doing involuntary abortions on African American women like crazy, because the black population was growing quickly. Now that we have birth control, and the 60s movement went through and so forth, the people that are not having a lot of children are not women of color. Women of color are still having babies, but their mortality rate is low, and so more, there's more of a need for medical attention and support, and that's being tempered, but that's being hampered. And it's amazing how history sort of flip flops sometimes.
This movement of removing the right to abortion, I believe that is with the purpose of make the white community to reproduce in a higher rate.
Yeah.
But they don't. But many women are not interested in become mothers. And then, do you know who is coming? Like you say, African Americans and Hispanics are the ladies who have more children. And if you remove the right to abortion, it's going to be worse the situation, because now they are going to have more blacks and more Hispanics than ever.
Yeah, and and the right to life and the anti-abortion movement, I think, is kind of ironic because there's not, the people that are pounding the drum and arguing in that direction don't pound the drum and argue in the direction of feeding kids at school and protecting them and doing the kinds of things that supports children. They don't pass legislation that supports children. They only want to suppress legislation that helps women in their medical health. And to me, it's just I just can't. It's beyond me that old white men are making decisions about women and their health. It's
Yeah,
frazzles me.
absolutely.
I don't understand that. Where do they get off of that? Where do they get the right for that? Well, they've always had it, so that's another effort. That's making America great again, because they don't want to lose that power over women.
Estamos hablando de cómo remover la posibilidad de que las mujeres tengan el derecho al aborto. Bueno, pues es la posibilidad de que quieran que la clase blanca se reproduzca a una tasa más alta de la que está, pero en realidad es que hay muchas mujeres que no quieren asumir la responsabilidad de ser madres. Y lo que estamos diciendo es que las mujeres afroamericanas y las mujeres hispanas son las que todavía tienen más hijos, ¿no? Y bueno, con estas medidas, si se les prohíbe además el aborto cuando quieran tener un aborto para regular la cantidad de niños, pues van a tener más niños, muchísimo más niños, y en lugar de que la población hispana y la población negra se reduzca, se va a incrementar más por este tipo de medidas. Y Michael dice, lo que yo no entiendo es cómo hombres blancos quieren regular lo que pasa en los cuerpos de las mujeres. Es un derecho que se obtuvo desde hace muchos años, más de 50 años, y que pues no vamos a permitir que lo quiten tan sencillamente, y a través de nuestro voto es como podemos influir en este tipo de situaciones. Y lo que también ha hablado Michael es la falta de ayuda financiera cuando ya tienes un bebé, que no hay apoyos a veces suficientes para los niños, ni cuando van a la escuela, ni cuando están creciendo. Siempre se trata de limitar las aportaciones que se reciben para los niños. Por ejemplo, medical and food stamps, no? That, no, they should remove food stamps, but they want children. And do you know why they cannot understand that if you have children that are not healthy or smart, we are going to have a country that is going to go to the drain.
Kaput.
¿No?
Yeah.
So, ¿por qué no entender que si se están teniendo niños y no se les dé el apoyo suficiente para que sean ciudadanos inteligentes y con buena salud, este país se va a ir para abajo? No hay otra. Entonces, tenemos que ponernos las pilas y ver hacia dónde vamos. This is going to be a very difficult time, but at the end, victory will prevail.
Well, I think we're at a time where people need to wake up, and if they do, then they'll be criticized for being woke. But it's to me, it's very important that people know and understand where we are historically, and that we are still, as a country, in command of our own destiny. Although the power is beginning to shift a little bit, and folks are getting a little bit antsy about that. But I think I'm hopeful. I'm thinking that uh, the majority in our country will see and know and understand that there's more that people have in common than not. And everybody has some basic core values and things that drive them, and I think they're pretty universal. And we need to think more in terms of the commonality of man, rather than the differences, because you can find a difference. I mean, there's differences between children of the same family, but there's commonality, and they're all family.
Bueno, estamos hablando cómo este tiempo pues va a ser un tiempo difícil para el futuro, pero que tenemos claridad de que todo va a salir bien porque pues tenemos que encontrar lo que hay en común en todos nosotros y no andar buscando las diferencias, porque dice, las diferencias las puedes encontrar aún entre niños de la misma familia, pero el destino de los Estados Unidos está en nosotros si nos ponemos atentos de cuál es el futuro que queremos que conduzca a este país. Well, Michael, time is gone. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure to have you.
It was a pleasure.
Hasta la vista, baby.